He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome to Coast View, the show that celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such a great place to live, work, and play. And speaking of, celebrating people, SuperTalk Mississippi Media rolled out over the weekend its 228 Awards, and where we celebrate some amazing people, some amazing accomplishments. And if you haven't had an opportunity to take a look at that, you ought to go take a look. It's incredible. Over 300,000 votes. Unbelievable outcome. Also, I wanted to say, too, that my conversation with Kimberly Nastasi yesterday was just terrific. She's the director of communication for Ingalls, and we talked about leadership development and why that's important. We talked about mentoring, coach young professionals, all the work that's happening in our community to make leadership stronger here. And if you missed that conversation, you can go take a look at it at the Facebook page or the YouTube channel. Without any further ado, let's move over to my friends, George Freeland and Mary Martha Henson. They are with the Jackson County Economic Development Foundation. George is the executive director and Mary is the deputy director. And I want to say good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, Ricky. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fantastic, doing well. Hey, you heard the point that I made about the importance of leadership development at every level of our community. I cannot overstate that, can I?
No, you can't. And we're always eager to talk about all the ways in which economic development success is culminating here in this community and along the coast. That being said, economic development as a discipline, as a practice is based on good leadership at the elected level, within the private sector, and within the professional ranks of an organization like ours.
Well, like yours, I mean, I remember when you and I visited a year ago, Mary had not been with the organization too long. She sat off camera, but we had a lot of incredible conversations off camera. And then, but today she's joining you. And I mentioned to you that I've often heard of you guys being sort of the dynamic duo. But Mary was a really important addition to the team there, wasn't she?
No question. Mary Martha Henson's impact on the organization and the community has been absolutely immeasurable. Again, our organization is broad and it's deep, and it's intended to affect so many layers of economic development in the community. Her skill set, coupling an economic development experience with her experience and exposure in Congress for 10 years, is a combination that creates sort of a double whammy, if you will, and has provided a real measure of professional diversification for the Economic Development Foundation.
So, Mary Martha, tell me real quick, you have like you mentioned, 10 years of experience in D.C. Tell me specifically what that experience was.
Sure. So, Ricky, I actually started out in Washington working in the House of Representatives for a former congressman from Mississippi. And I served as his legislative director, so I oversaw his policy team. And that gave me an opportunity to work on legislative issues from taxes to infrastructure to foreign and national relations, international trade. So it really gave me a breadth of experience. I came home to Mississippi and ran the Mississippi Economic Development Council, which is the trade association for economic developers and Chamber of Commerce's. You mentioned Kimberly, and I got to know Kimberly when I ran that organization, and certainly have an appreciation for what she's done for the coastal young professionals, and have admired her through her career. I went back to D.C. when Senator Cochran became the chairman of appropriations. And what an incredible experience to go back to Washington to really work for the senator, but build out those legacy items that were so important to the senator, whether it was working on civil rights issues or making sure our defense communities were strong and would sustain beyond his leadership, working on infrastructure, workforce development. So it was an incredible opportunity. But Jackson County is one of those communities throughout my career that I've admired from afar. And so when the opportunity presented itself to come back to Mississippi and work in this community, it was a no-brainer. And so I've been back here about 2 years.
So I'm glad to see you here, and I'm glad that you guys are working with your team there to continue to have success. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that here shortly. But one of the things I often refer to, and George, you and I talked about this when we met a year ago to talk about sort of your path to your current role, is that Ingalls is one of the bookends. You have Ingalls on one end and Stennis on the other, and all these things going on in between. Now, Jackson County is not just about Ingalls. One of the real benefits of the economic development strategic efforts in Jackson County has been that Jackson County has been able to really diversify its economy. But boy, Ingalls is important. And when you think about military spending, defense spending specifically, and the impact Ingalls has on all these ancillary businesses, you really understand why it's important to understand the political system in Mississippi and the United States in order to get things done. I mean, it requires a village to have success, doesn't it, George?
No question. And I think that's why Mary Martha's experience and skill set is so well suited to our particular economic development profile, opportunities, and challenges here in this community. Ricky, we have designs that defense contracting and the shipbuilding arena and commercial shipbuilding combined with petrochemical operations will always be the economic backbone, if you will, in this community. But to your point, understanding those nuances and coupling that with a real centerpiece of our program of work, that is an intention and a focus on diversifying the economy, has to be a part of any meaningful long-term economic development strategic plan.
So as the primary economic development organization in Jackson County, give me a quick overview of what some of your recent successes have been. What's going on there these days? Sure.
Well, let's just, in a broad sense, distill down the metrics and the data in a way that it is easily processed. Ricky, we can quantify over the last 18 to 24 months the creation of or the leveraging of close to $500 million of new capital investments and the creation of over 3,000 new manufacturing and/or manufacturing-related jobs in this community. Now that is impressive enough. Let me remind us, as I characterized it earlier, that is a culmination of work over the years. It doesn't just happen. We use that adage that says it's not the will to win that matters. Every community has the will to win. It's the will to prepare to win that separates those successful communities from those that tend to struggle. And that, back to the leadership part of this conversation, is critical. We need leadership in a community, in an organization like this, to sustain operations, to be focused, and to be disciplined in the way we execute those operations.
And in order to be successful in economic development, we all know this, but for those who don't understand it, it is the art of the long view. You have to have a strategic plan in place that sort of spells out where you want to go. And it takes sometimes years to bag that elephant, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And again, discipline, leadership, and continuity are sort of the three legs to that stool, if you will, to sort of put some grain to those overall numbers. In the last year and a half, we can include the Rolls-Royce Marine North America expansion on that list. We can include Northrop Grumman's inclusion of F-35, a manned fighter jet work in that equation. We can include the American Bait Works polymer injection manufacturing facility at Sunplex in that inventory. Respirtech with a bioenvironmental testing laboratory at Sunplex. And most recently announced last week is Mississippi State's new Northern Gulf Aquatic Research Center that will be located at the Sunplex Light Technology Park. This will be Mississippi State's largest asset on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It positions us in a very unique way in that now we have two university-based testing operations on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and will be absolutely critical in our long-term efforts to focus on technology and innovation capture in this community.
So, Mayor Martha, when you think about the blue economy and the opportunities there, which obviously this Northern Gulf Aquatic Research Center is part of that whole mission, that's really important, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And if you think about the future of what the economy looks like, what the Mississippi Gulf Coast can contribute, certainly the blue economy. But, what's so unique about Jackson County, and George just mentioned this, but it's worth reemphasizing, Ricky, is that now Jackson County will have 2 research laboratories, and those are 2 university research laboratories. So what does that mean to have 2 research laboratories? Because I think sometimes that gets lost on people. Those are PhDs, those are scientists that are going to be housed at these research laboratories that then are living in your communities, they're investing in your communities. It's also the opportunity to bring people from outside the state into the Jackson County and the coastal Mississippi to look at issues that certainly impact our economy. And so it's exciting to have both of those universities call Jackson County home now.
It is exciting. And you think about the strategic position that the Mississippi coast has as it relates to the blue economy, the opportunities we have to take advantage of our coastline, and the research and other economic development opportunities. It's really incredible. And if you think about the new economy and the kind of people who are part of that new economy and the things that we're doing, for example, in downtown Pascagoula, building mixed-use developments and all, we're going to talk about all that in the next segment. But when we come back, we'll continue our conversations with Mary Martha Henson, the Deputy Director, and George Freeland, the Director, Executive Director of the Jackson County Economic Development Foundation when we come back.
Broadcasting safe and sound from the coastal Mississippi studios, this is Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk 103.1.
If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
Hey South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport or on allentoyota.com.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen. Okay. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We have George Freeland, the Executive Director of Economic Development Foundation in Jackson County, and the Deputy Director, Mary Martha Henson, joining us. Incidentally, when we come back in the next segment, we'll have Steve Azar joining us. He's the Music and Cultural Ambassador for the state of Mississippi, and he has a great songwriters event that's happening in Leland, Mississippi this weekend, and we're going to talk about that, among other things. But George, when we went to break, we were sort of talking about the opportunities to build amazing things in our community. But as you peruse the strategic importance of building the kind of communities that are going to make a difference for places like Pascagoula and Jackson County, so that we can compete in the new economy, that's an important conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an extremely important conversation, Ricky. And again, back to that inventory of projects and successes that we laid out with a measure of diversification, innovation focus, and technology orientation. We're checking all the right boxes, but we also have to focus very keenly on what it takes to improve the built environment and to make investments in not so much a quality of life, we get that, but a quality of place in this community. And using the example of Pascagoula, there is a group through our Pascagoula Redevelopment Authority that is purposefully focused on, again, mixed-use development, a quality built environment, and enhancing and investing in the kind of amenities as a community we need to retain the multiplier, to keep that engineer, keep that scientist, keep that PhD, and as much attract talent to our community.
One of the things that I talk about a lot, and I think it's really part of our success going forward, when you think about the new economy and the creative class, and there's so many jobs that are part of that, they can work remotely. And if you really think about the impact that the pandemic has had on the creative class and the opportunities around remote work, is very, very significant. And what I've said many times on this show is that the trends that were in place before the pandemic have only been sped up by the pandemic. So if there was a trend toward understanding opportunities around the creative class, about taking advantage of opportunities in this new economy, all the pandemic has done is speed that up. And we want people to pick downtown Pascagoula, but what we know that the people who are part of that class want is these are writers and graphic artists and engineers, and could be lawyers, could be copyright, could be a long list of people. What we know is they want to live, work, and play in a similar area. So mixed use is a really important part of that. Mary Margaret, that's part of the deal, isn't it?
Absolutely. In economic development, Ricky, we call this quality of place. And really, that's what the foundation does. We're creating those jobs. And again, they're high-paying jobs. What Jackson County typically creates in a job is much larger than the state average in manufacturing wage. So that's an important data point. But even more than that is being a part of these groups that are focused on retaining your workforce here in Mississippi, and specifically, in Jackson County and the coastal area. So we're benefiting from that worker in the dollars that they're going to turn over in the economy, whether that's buying a home, shopping in your boutiques, eating in your restaurants. That's what this is all about, is making sure that we keep the employee here.
Like your husband you just bought a house.
I did, although my husband's still based in Washington, D.C. But as you were just mentioning, the pandemic has silver linings, and he's been able to move back to Mississippi and be based here. And we use the Gulfport airport quite a bit.
Well, I think about Brian and Marie Sanderson. I've had them on the show many times, and they do work all over the United States, and it shows Ocean Springs is their place to raise their children. And it just shows that a remote worker, if you're creative, and certainly there's a lot of creativity going on right now in the pandemic, you can just about live anywhere you want to live. George, you hear that every day, don't you?
Yeah, every day. And as we're having this exchange, it occurs to me, we ought not be confused, Ricky, if it's economic development in a broad sense, right? If it's manufacturing, technology development, and innovation focuses. or if it's more of a community development orientation. Okay, those things again designed to improve the built environment and the quality of place. Let's not be
a sense of place.
In a sense of place. Let's not be confused about any of this. We're in a competition. Okay, and as we always say, the competition might be just down the road. It might be across the country, or it might be a world away. And so in the economic development arena, it's important that we set an expectation and we understand what our comparative advantages are, that we understand what separates us from competition. And I think that applies to our downtowns, to that sense of place, to a sense of community development. And there are, let us not be confused again, so many ways that we're set apart from the competition as it concerns the livability and all the reasons why someone ought to resolve to make a home and make an investment in these communities.
Hey, so George, you guys are you've done so much amazing work over the years, and you've built essentially a Jackson County formula to success, and it's based on public-private partnerships. Tell about why that's really important.
Let me take a run at that, Mary Martha. So again, I can't get out of my mind the way we began this conversation, Ricky. Leadership. And I think fundamental to the foundation's formula is our ability to marshal, hone, and align all levels of leadership, both public and private, in this community with a focus on a shared outcome. An outcome that isn't just 12 or 24 months away, but is 5, 10, 15, and 24 years on the horizon. And to the public involvement, we're quick to brag on our Board of Supervisors. As of, for instance, they are such a centerpiece in that formula. They are so understanding of what it takes, to your point, that there's a long-term proposition to that. Then when you couple that with the business leadership and the focus of our corporate community, man, it's a formula that just can't help but be successful.
And you have long-term leaders like Jerry St. Pé, who continues to sing your praises over all these years. I mean, what a gift that keeps giving, isn't he?
It's been quite a blessing, hasn't it?
It has been.
So I'm curious about this. Mary Martha, when you get up in the morning, what are you thinking about? What gives you the most sense of purpose in what you're doing?
Sure. So, I mean, first of all, is to being back in Mississippi. I mean, you go to DC, you get this incredible experience, you travel the world, and but there's something about coming home. But Ricky, I'll say, being back here, the people. I mean, the fact that we get to work every day with people from all walks of life that have various, variety of backgrounds, but to get to work with them and know that we're doing things that are changing Jackson County, but also the coast and Mississippi. I mean, I wake up every day and think about what can we do to make this place better and who can we involve in that process. And again, back to that leadership. I mean, we have to invest in leaders from various backgrounds, from various industries. And so we're always thinking about who to bring to the table that can be part of that partnership. And, and really the other thing that I often think about, because I have a public policy background and I enjoy thinking about public policy and the challenges that come with it, is how do we continue to diversify and grow the economy in Jackson County? And that always involves public policy. And that, of course, involves people at the federal level, the state level, and the local level. And so, again, building those partnerships around public policy is something I think about every day.
I love that you led with people, though. I mean, that's the thing that you most look forward to coming back home to. And Steve Azar and I are going to be talking in the next segment. I just enjoy visiting with him because he just has such a love for the state. But our conversations and my conversation with you and with you two and with others that I have on Coast View, it inevitably comes back to our secret sauce in this state. The secret sauce is the people. I mean, the people make the big difference. These are the people who have in their heart and soul this love for this community, this place. And they're the ones who make other people feel welcome. And when people visit here, they sense that. And it's an amazing thing. And you're actually able to tap into that in the work that you do in the Economic Development Foundation, building strong relationships with people who then, once you have that relationship, you can accomplish just about anything, can't you?
Sure. And, and we say this frequently, our model is built on partnerships. And we talked about this earlier, but again, partnerships is what drives the success of the foundation, but it also drives the success of Jackson County. I mean, we have partnerships at the local level, the state level, the federal level, the Board of Supervisors, our cities, and you can't get things done if you're not a partner.
Well, we're out of time, you guys, but it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. George Freeland, the Executive Director for the Jackson County Economic Development Foundation, and Mary Martha Henson, the Deputy Director. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. I look forward to visiting again, too. Let's don't let so much time pass before we come back together again.
Thank you, Ricky. We always appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it.
You bet. When we come back, we have Steve Azar.
Coast View on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We are with the fabulous Norbert Putnam as he played on so many hit records, you can't count them, and produced for some of the biggest acts ever. We got to talk Jimmy Buffett.
One day at breakfast, he says, I started a new song. It's about a night and a day in Key West. I played a bar and I got drunk, and coming home, I stepped out of my flip-flop, and I just kept going. I stepped on a beer can. And the next morning, I'm up, and I'm hungover, and I'm trying to make a margarita. I got some shrimp boiling. I can't find the salt. I said, Jimmy, I kind of like this. And he said, yeah, I think I'll call it Margaritaville.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on your local SuperTalk Mississippi station and now on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices. SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. Now we're going to flip the page and move over to my friend Steve Azar, singer-songwriter from Mississippi and the music and cultural ambassador for the state of Mississippi, and got a cool music festival about to come up. We're going to talk about that in a second, but good morning, Steve. How you doing, buddy?
Brother Ricky, always great to talk to you. See you, Kyle, you as well.
Yeah. Well, look, you heard the end of our conversation with the two representatives from the Jackson County Economic Development Foundation, but isn't it interesting that the conversation, I don't care who you're talking to or what the topic is, it always comes back to the people of Mississippi, doesn't it?
I mean, I feel like we're our own building, if that makes sense. That our folks we're so unique, and we've talked about this, Ricky. It's we have the most unique characters on the planet, and if you take time to stop and talk and get to know one another, you realize that. And the proof is in the pudding for all of us that travel the world, but also our folks that we bring in for our Delta Soul, and they can't wait. Next thing you know, they're hunting. They're staying an extra 5 days. They don't want to leave the state and go back to Boston and Phoenix and LA and New York. And especially now, you think about it, Ricky, more than ever, these sort of, I guess you could say we're sort of, I guess, out of, small town, out of the city limits, suburban, I don't know, whatever word you call it. The bottom line is all of our cities are so sort of quaint and small. That I think that we have an advantage more than ever, especially when it comes to tourism and celebrating our art form. You don't have to fight through traffic and all that. And and look, with any state that's got a name like Pascagoula for a town, I mean, come on, you got to want to go there, right? I've always loved saying Pascagoula.
Or a river named Schutica Bluff. I mean,
exactly.
even though you surely can't spell it, that's for sure. Hey, look, we got a lot to talk about today, but one of the things that's really cool to see is that the state, Kyle and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but the state is beginning to really push the numbers up in terms of those who have been vaccinated. And we're starting to see the numbers climb. We're starting to see the mechanisms in place as the inventory of shots comes into the state. We're getting it out there really rapidly. I think the number is like 71% currently, and it continues to improve. But for someone in your business, and we've talked about this so many times, but people who are in your business, man, this vaccine and getting to herd immunity is the lifeblood of what you do. And I bet you're glad, not just on behalf of yourself, you've been able to find diversified ways to keep life going, but all the people involved in your industry, people who drive buses and help set up for concerts, and the people who play in your bands. And I mean, man, we need life to get back to normal again, don't we?
It's been complicated for our business for sure. And you just said it. You're mentioning all these elements: people that build road cases, the people that sell merch. I mean, they have relied on that year to happen, and you hope that there's a little nest egg that you've gone into. But the music industry has always been one of those industries, for some reason, that government doesn't see it such as this billions and billions of dollar industry between live gigs and selling records and streaming. And we've been in battle with, with Spotify and all that. And now they're coming to terms. But like it's been a long, grueling, you're using our music, with streaming, but I'm understanding Spotify and appreciating it now. So I think we're all coming to grips, but the money's starting to make a little bit more sense now for us where it didn't before. So so you think about that, but when I guess what I'm saying is, like all my songwriters that's coming to this festival this weekend, the bottom line is they were set because they were always involved in record sales. So they were always having checks come in from all over. And if they had a single on the radio, amen, big touchdown, grand slam, World Series, all that. But in the most part, if you had 10 songs cut and you had a Chesney record and they're all million sellers, that's $900,000 in income. If you split it between 2 writers or 3 writers or whatever publishing, at least you got, some money coming in where you don't have to leave the house. And that's what these guys did for so many years. And now I've got them out of the house and they love playing. And so there's some positives to all of this. And the silver lining you and I've talked about, we're going to find out some silver linings. But the bottom line for me is, selfishly, my pals that used to never leave the house, and I made jokes about it, now love to go out and play. And it's opening up for us. And this vaccine is so great. And Governor Reeves has done a fantastic job. I don't care what side of the fence you're on, you got to stop and think about it. He is so smart and intelligent when it comes to numbers and preparing. And that's what he's done. And so I'm obviously one of the last ones on the list. I haven't got my vaccine yet, but more importantly, my folks have. So they're vaccinated, and I think they're ready to go back to church.
Well, as you and I have talked about before, and you alluded to it in this day of streaming, the concerts used to be, you do concerts to promote an album, and a lot of money would come from album sales and whatever. And a lot of that you'd have to share with producers and record companies and all that. But now, the actual concert itself is really a critical part of the overall business model, isn't it?
It is the key now, because so record labels, when they do a deal with you, they want to have a piece of that. So as an artist, you're really getting chunks taken out. There's 10% of your agent, 15% of your manager. Your record label now is part of that whole situation. There's all of these elements that are coming. So as an artist, you really have to be working a lot or working a certain amount of dates with a lot of money. And the few that work for, the Jimmy Buffetts of the world, one of ours, he's one of those elite percent that can, go set up 15, 20 shows and then just kick back. But the rest of the music world is sort of upper middle class, and down. You have to work. And so you can take it, how much you have to work and go from there. But yeah, live gigs, Ricky, it's it. And so it's been interesting seeing all of those go away. And, that brings us to the topic I guess we'll start talking about in that.
Yeah, let me mention one thing before we go to the festival. I read a story in Wall Street Journal that said that the number of writers involved in a #1 hit at Billboard Hot 100 is up to 5.5 writers, whereas in 1990 it was 2.1. So, and the reason this is really kind of brought up is that the recent buying frenzy to get catalogs is raising an important question about who benefits. So, I never realized that many people could be involved in a single song.
Let me tell you what's happening. Yeah. I'll tell you I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I can tell you, I know we're on limited time. What's happening is, for instance, I've had friends who's had, like my old producer, Rafe Van Hoy, had a Millie Jackson hit. He wrote it by himself. So all of a sudden he finds out he's got the #3 song in the land on the pop R&B charts back in the day, and with Trick Daddy. And it was I'm a Thug. And he took the Millie Jackson song and he sampled it into his song, and Rafe became half a songwriter. So, so Rafe was like dressed up in the big jackets and the bling because he was so happy because he didn't even know. So you may have 5 writers because of all of these sort of collaborations of songs. But then again, in Nashville, I'm hearing a lot of times, there's Jesse Rice, a friend who wrote Cruising, what is it, big hit for Florida Georgia Line. There was probably 5 of them in the room, 7. I don't know, there's a bunch of them. I write alone mostly. So, and I enjoy that process, but man, I've never written with over 2 people. So it is interesting. And our publishers wouldn't let us do it because it broke the money in too many pieces. So, Yeah, but that's a good example why there were 2,500 of us on salary and staff writers, and back in the mid 90s, all the way to about 2006 or 7, and now there's 250 staff writers in Nashville.
Wow, that's really incredible. Hey, so we're coming to the end of the segment. We'll start this now, and what we'll do, we'll pick it up on the other side. But your Mockingbird Songwriters Music Festival is coming up in Leland, Mississippi this weekend. I'm happy for you because it's giving you a chance to draw some of your friends, many from Mississippi, some from outside Mississippi. But man, when you look at the list of songs that they have written, man, you've really amassed some incredible people, haven't you?
Well, relationships, you spend a lot of time with them, trying to see if one of you can have the first hit. We were all going through it together, and it was always a celebration. So we're all coming together. There's 1 degree of separate, maybe a half a degree between all of us. So there's a big brotherhood of us and sisterhood. So I'm looking forward to having them down here on Delta Soul. They may never leave. You know that. You know what'll happen. They'll love it.
So, hey, tell us where Leland, Mississippi is.
It's home of Jim Henson and the Muppets, baby. It's like 9 miles from my house here. If I look east, it's between Indianola and Greenville. And it's great. Our friends of ours, the Ponies, have this incredible venue they created for wedding receptions and parties called the Gin at Dudley. And it's right on their farm, and we're celebrating the farmers before they get to planting. And I just love that, because I love our farmers down here. I got a lot of friends who farm, who gamble more than we do. The ultimate gambler is the farmer. They bust their tails, and all of a sudden they're waiting on make sure the price is right, and then they finally have a good crop, or they're dealing with no rain or too much rain. I mean, these guys are rock stars. So I like to do it where they can come and celebrate and get ready to roll.
We're talking more about the Songwriters Festival coming up this weekend, and we'll get into who's involved in this and why is Steve so passionate about it. It's a great opportunity to sort of unleash bringing some people together in a safe way and in a really cool spot. So we'll be back after this break to talk more about it.
Broadcasting safe and sound from the coastal Mississippi studios, this is Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk 103.1.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We are with the fabulous Norbert Putnam as he played on so many hit records, you can't count them, and produced for some of the biggest acts ever. Norbert, Elvis.
And I want to tell you about Presley. He had two different voices. He would sit and talk to me in a very calm, low voice. And we were at Stack's one night, and we were having lunch. We always had lunch at midnight because he was nocturnal. We sat there and we have our sandwiches, and at 1 o'clock, he looked up. He said, "Hey, Pot, come on, it's time for me to go be home." And he stood up, and a much deeper voice, he put on his macho voice. "Hey, fellas, it's 1 o'clock. Let's get cracking, okay?"
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, Amazon Alexa, and now on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. One of the benefits of sitting in this chair is I get the opportunity to meet some amazing people. And along the way, I've formed some new bonds. And one of those has been with Steve Azar. Steve and I have really become close friends. And my love for coastal Mississippi, his love for the state, when we get together, it's just fun for me. And in this particular case, what I love, Steve, is your passion for everything you do. And this Songwriters Festival is just an extension of that. And the fact that, as you just mentioned, in Leland, Mississippi, sort of celebrating farmers before their planting season starts, and your ability through your relationships and through your show in a Mississippi Minute to bring all these incredible songwriters in. It's got to be cool for you to be able to do something that's going to be positive for Mississippi.
Well, you think about the economic impact. And we talked about the negatives of the industry in general at times, but the state of Mississippi has done so many wonderful things to allow us to bring folks in. So this is all about Music City coming to the birthplace of American music. They love doing it. They're in awe of who we are and our history of music. And tourism, Craig Ray, Governor Reeves is all in. I mean, they're all in. And the MDA, John Roundsaball, Mike McGreevy, they're all so passionate about the stuff that we do, and they understand that there's an economic impact and also a morale booster. Come on, man. When you can boost the morale of folks and give them some reason to celebrate, especially now,
right.
And in music and the art form that made us so relevant to the world. And I just think that mix it with a little agriculture, our farmers. I think that it's a no-brainer. And then this is one of these festivals where it's called the Mockingbird Songwriters Music Festival. It's our first year. It's on the farm, like I said, at the Gin at Dudley. Our good friends is the Ponies. A lot of Italian farmers down here, you know that. And a lot of vowels at the end of names. And so they've been here for many generations, and they're dear friends of ours, and they got this great, cool event. The venue's so perfect. It's insane. This is where we did the One Mississippi charity event last year for the pumps south of us. We raised $50,000 real quick, just small, brought a few of my friends down. And it made me realize that this thing, a few's not going to work. Let's bring a dozen of them down at a time and then grow it. Put people in hotels, and they're starting to do it. And that helps the economy. Obviously, hotels are limited, restaurants are limited, and we are following every guideline that's current to the state for sure, and making sure that people know that this is going to be like you're walking in a restaurant. You keep your mask on and we get up around, but when you're in your little area, you can do it like a restaurant and do your thing. It's just going to be awesome. So I selfishly, I'm excited to see my old friends and perform together, 3 of you at a time on stage. And then, Ricky, I'm gonna celebrate a few of Mississippi artists that folks locally know. Some travel the world. One was up for a blues award. I mean, they're all this. And then one kid that I'm producing from Petal, Mississippi right now, who could truly be a big, big star. His songwriting is incredible. Been working with him, and I fall in love with the kid. And he's not really a kid. He was 6'3.5" and about 250 pounds, and was a big lineman and was going to play at South Alabama. But he's really good. His name's Tyler Tisdale. So I'm looking forward to sharing in the next 2 months. His whole persona online will be totally different. It'll be who he is. A lot of times folks don't have the ability or the knowledge or the team to be able to put all that together and make it look like, okay, here's who I really am. You know what I mean?
Hey, Steve, are tickets still available to the festival?
Yeah. We're going to limit it to 500 people. We've been selling about 15, 20 a day now. They're popping. And so we're closing in on it. So if people want to buy tickets, you can go to steveazar.com, go to the extra page, and then go to Mockingbird Music Festival, take your tickets, or you can go to Eventbrite for Greenville, Mississippi. And we're keeping things really simple. There's no big Ticketmaster or Vendini. And I mean, parking's free. I'm not charging our food trucks, Doe's and Lost Pizza. I'm a fan of theirs. And I just want everybody to come together and make money so they can spend it and put it back in our state.
Yeah. So give me an idea of some of the songs that we'll hear.
Okay. You ready for this? Everybody, some people know my Waiting On shows, and I don't have to be Mute Monday, Sunshine, Coldwater, all that. But then you've got Monty Holmes. He wrote Troubadour. I Know She Still Loves Me. Never, Never Again. My buddy Anthony Smith wrote Run for George Strait. Chrome, Christopherson, Matt Warren, Putting Memories of all the great Learning How to Bend. Every Storm Runs Out of Rain. Win Varble, Waiting on a Woman. Why couldn't I have written Waiting on a Woman instead of Waiting on Joe? I always ask him. Have you forgotten? I'm a little more country than that. And then Jason Mathews, Must Be Doing Something Right, the Billy Currington big hit. Drinking Beers and Wasting Bullets. Jim Moose Brown, 5 O'Clock Somewhere, plays with Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. Don Sampson's had hits on Willie Nelson and Chris Stapleton, everywhere in between. Midnight in Montgomery, Tough Little Boys. James House, My Dear Friend, I Ain't That Lonely Yet, in a Week or Two, Broken Wing, This Is Me Missing You. Then Tom Shepard, Redneck Yacht Club, Riding with Private Malone. Kyle Jacobs, who's married to Kelly Pickler, the first only Garth Brooks song on Billboard to ever go #1 out the box, More Than a Memory. He wrote Eighth World Wonder, Still. He's also a CMA and ACM award winner and hit producer. And then we've got my buddies Rob Mortimer, Zach Day, and Trey Gardo, all from Mississippi, and of course Tyler Tisdale, who's going to do their thing. Tyler's going to perform with me, and so it's going to be on, and Friday night, all day Saturday, from the afternoon on to 11 o'clock at night. And if you've never seen the songwriter do their songs that they wrote, that we all wrote, then you've never heard the song at all. Because they're going to tell you the story. They're going to be cutting up because they're nuts on stage together. And I got to be honest with you, I'd rather hear the songwriter do their song than any artist that just sang it. It is another level of emotion. It's a special place to be. And if you're in front of it and watching it, you leave and go, that's how I want to see that song forever. It's pretty cool.
You should know. You've written a couple yourself, right?
Well, I've always been writing for myself, so I'm a little bit of a different bird, but a lot of artists don't write. So these are the guys that do it. And these are the guys, to me, that I'm in awe of. I'm truly in awe of them because it's easy I have an advantage because I'm going to cut the song I write. They don't have the advantage. I think they're a lot smarter than me and a lot more brilliant, a lot more talented in a lot of ways. So I am humbled to be around them. They also all came from very small towns. It's amazing. So the farm's a perfect place. These small towns where they were able to dream big and have a crazy imagination, probably running around with a stick. You know what I mean? And then they're great athletes. All these guys are great athletes, which I think is a common thread with surviving the music business.
So, Steve, it's been a pleasure to visit with you. We're running out of time, but good luck this weekend. I hope I'll see you. I'm going to be up. I'm going to try to drive over. Yeah.
Come on. I want to see you.
We'll hope to see you this weekend. But anyway, good luck with you. And if you're inclined, go up to the Mississippi Delta this weekend to Leland, Mississippi, and enjoy that incredible event. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Love you, brother. You're the best.
Okay, man. You bet. See ya. And thanks a lot, Kyle, as usual. And have a great day.
Coast View on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
106.3 Casino Radio is here. Tune to 106.3 to discover all of our must-see attractions and everything that's happening at our 12 incredible casino resorts. Where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and where to play. 106.3 Casino Radio has you covered with everything you need to know to help make your visit here to the coast one you'll never forget. Turn on 106.3 Casino Radio or listen now on our website, CasinoRadio1063.com.
If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We are with the fabulous Norbert Putnam as he played on so many hit records, you can't count them, and produced for some of the biggest acts ever. We got to talk Jimmy Buffett.
One day at breakfast, he says, I started a new song. He says, about a night and a day in Key West, I played a bar and I got drunk, and coming home, I stepped out of my flip-flop, and I just kept going. I stepped on a beer can. And the next morning, I'm up, and I'm hungover, and I'm trying to make a margarita. I got some shrimp boiling. I can't find the salt. I said, Jimmy, I kind of like this. And he said, yeah, I think I'll call it Margaritaville.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on your local SuperTalk Mississippi station, and now on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Everyone knows the only thing better than pizza is free pizza, and right now, buy a $10 gift certificate to CC's Pizza for only $5. It's like buying a pizza and getting a pizza for free. Go to our station's website or Facebook. Look for the Half Off Deals logo to purchase this amazing deal right now.
When you listen to SuperTalk Mississippi, you become part of a statewide community, a community of knowledgeable, engaged, enlightened, well-informed, hard-working men and women just like you, all eager to see the Magnolia State grow and prosper. There may be some disagreement on how to get there, but the goal remains the same, for each Mississippian to reach their American dream. Thanks for listening and being a part of the conversation on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Be sure to go by this station's website and check out the half-off deals. Audubon Zoo tickets for just $15. That's half price. $30 zoo tickets for just $15. Again, go to this station's website or Facebook. Look for the half-off deals logo to purchase yours now.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen. Okay. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
It's 2021 and J. Allen Toyota still has a lifetime warranty on all new Toyotas. They all come with Toyota Care. We've got a great rental department. We've got great used cars. We've got a parts and service department ready to help you. So when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.